What was to be a dramatic overhaul of the most processionary race on the F1 calendar has instead been a testament to how resistant the sport is to change, particularly where it's needed most. Come with us on our in-depth look at the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix, a race that was going to revolutionize the wheel, but moved it barely at all. Buckle up, because we're about to unpack the tactics, controversies, and the growing question: has Monaco outlived its place in modern F1? This year's Monaco Grand Prix came with a twist, a two-stop strategy that was compulsory, hoping to add some excitement to the event. The thought was to make teams adopt more aggressive tyre strategies, produce opportunities for overtaking, and make drivers brave. What we saw instead was a chess game where the pieces hardly shifted. In spite of all the hoopla, the truth was unexciting. Passing still was effectively out of the question, and strategy on tyres was made irrelevant by the tight, unforgiving character of the Monte Carlo track. The top 4 drivers finished precisely where their speed left them, with strategy providing little variance. Another promenade in Monaco's streets, pretty for yachts and stars, but not much to excite car racing enthusiasts. Lando Norris clinched a career-defining win, trimming Oscar Piastri's championship lead to just 3 points. In between them, Charles Leclerc delivered a strong but ultimately unrewarded home performance. Max Verstappen, running a bold Red Bull strategy that delayed his final stop until the penultimate lap, finished 4th. The plan: trigger chaos. The result: nothing. The issue wasn't effort, it was geometry. The size of current F1 cars just doesn't fit into Monaco's tight bounds anymore. Norris, Leclerc, Piastri, and Verstappen were all being squeezed by the physical limits of the track, unable to take even the simplest of overtake opportunities without skating with danger. Is Monaco worth saving, then? The absence of action on track wasn't because drivers were being conservative. It was the unavoidable reality that overtaking has become a pipe dream here. As Sky Sports' Martin Brundle so aptly put it, "I don't like these regulations. I don't like seeing drivers playing a game. This is supposed to be the highest level of motorsport, and right now, it's not." Most of the race drama arrived in midfield manipulation, rather than on-track genius. Groups such as Racing Bulls and Williams exploited the system rather than racing it. Liam Lawson held up the pack with measured precision, allowing teammate Isaac Hadjar sufficient margin to pit twice and claim a career-high 6th place. Mercedes, stuck in traffic, helplessly witnessed George Russell and rookie Kimi Antonelli mired in a strategic farce. Russell chose to take a drive-through penalty instead of losing track position, a desperate move more than anything else. Red Bull's Verstappen attempted to prolong his run to ridiculous durations, anticipating a late safety car or red flag. When none came, he pitted for no benefit. For the majority of the race, he was stuck looking at the rear wing of Piastri, unable to make a pass. Even Lewis Hamilton, racing in solitary 5th, spent the afternoon in what amounted to a solo time trial. Beneath them, mayhem prevailed. Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon efficiently conducted pit stops in a tactical waltz that was more drama than sport. Antonelli and Russell took liberties with the chicane runoff as a loophole. When instructed to return the position, Russell simply refused, taking a penalty instead. It wasn't racing, it was exploitation. Fernando Alonso, never a magnet for bad luck in recent years, watched his race come to an early end with a smoky engine failure. Another opportunity thrown away, another veteran disappointed by events outside of his control. And then, of course, there was the beginning. It started not with a bang, but a whimper. Gabriel Bortoleto bounced off the barrier at Portier, prompting a virtual safety car. A few drivers, Tsunoda, Gasly, and Behrman, gave it a go, trying to make their move. Didn't work. Gasly's attempt at passing Tsunoda resulted in contact, both cars suffering damage, and putting Alpine's afternoon into tatters. Tsunoda carried on, but the damage was done. Again, early strategy bets failed to come off. When the checkered flag finally appeared, nothing had really changed. The podium wasn't determined by overtakes, but pit stop timing and traffic management. Verstappen's final pit stop, done as the race was winding down, represented everything. It was a gesture, not a tactic, just in case something went wrong. But it didn't. Norris's calm focus was the standout. He dictated the rhythm, broke under pressure from Leclerc, and never wavered. Even his first Monaco victory seemed rather muted, though, in the light of an overarching existential crisis. Can Formula One keep pretending Monaco is the height of motorsport when the racing speaks otherwise? If Monaco wants to stay relevant, real changes must be considered. Smaller cars, alternate layouts, or circuit modifications. One idea floated has been removing the Nouvelle chicane and extending the straight to create an overtaking zone. Another proposes looping the circuit back before Portier to introduce a passing window. But these are just whispers, shut down quickly by concerns over safety and tradition. And still, tradition is precisely what is strangling Monaco. Ted Kravitz and Bernie Buscombe observed prior to the race that a 4-second per lap difference was required to pass here. That's not racing. That's uselessness. Throughout the race, we observed cars in clean air lap 5 seconds quicker than those bogged down in traffic. Still, however, unable to pass. It was not a narrow margin. It was a chasm. The requirement of a two-stop was in the correct direction. But teams used it to their advantage by having strategic slow laps and artificial time differences. It raises a question. Should the FIA implement a minimum lap time per stint to end this kind of manipulation? Without drastic structural adjustment, the Monaco Grand Prix is going to be a pageant. Lovely, old, and completely out of date. The regulations, the machinery, and the circuit are no longer at peace. And none of that nostalgia can camouflage that. Even the championship subplot, with Norris closing in on Piastri and Verstappen waiting in close attendance, comes across as an undeserved dividend. The race did not create that tension, just persisted with it. So where is F1 headed from here? Does it just continue to pay tribute to a circuit that resists change? Or does it finally realize that heritage is not justification enough for stagnation? Fans are owed better than a 78-lap procession. The sport owes itself better. And the drivers owe themselves a platform where their ability can be showcased, not confined by history. The Monaco Grand Prix can still retain the glitz, the yachts, and the VIPs. But unless Formula One is devoted to radical, structural reform, it will be a relic. What's your take? Should Monaco be saved or swapped out? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more in-depth looks at the world of Formula One. Until next time, keep racing forward.